It's important to remember that our kids' first representation of God is going to come from us. And the way that they think about themselves is really developed by the way they hear us speaking towards them. And so it's so important to show respect and to give a lot of affirmation to your kids, even when they're young. Not in a way that takes away your authority, not in a way that caters to their demands or their flesh or that lacks discipline. But I am saying that affirmation is powerful because we know that they're developing their thought patterns by what they're seeing us do. That makes parenting such a high calling. I hope that you're excited about it, but that you also understand how much work and value is on being a great parent, and that you want to spend time engaging in the spirit to what that need is for your child. There was a book I read probably when my kids were young. It's by Ortlund. It said Children Are Wet Cement, I believe is the title. But it just began to help me percolate and formulate the power of parenting well in your child's life, as the goal should be to lead them to Jesus. You know, often I see parents that are so frustrated with their kids, and yet, as I've listened to how they talk about their kids, they're very demeaning, as though kids were born a total package, already mature and wise. And when they find out they're not, they're just so disappointed. And parents seem to be missing the role that they play in the formation of their children. And it is hard work because you are training someone who is going to give you resistance. And some reason we feel shocked about that instead of understanding that's normal, because they're going to have to mature in learning to walk like Jesus and giving their lives to Jesus. And that means until they give their life to Jesus, there is a sin struggle, and you're helping them by being the example of what you do with your sin struggle. There is a scripture that says in John 8, and Jesus said unto them, if God were your Father, you would love me. I came from God, and now I'm here. I haven't come on my own, but he sent me. Why is my language not clear to you? He asked that question, and then he answered it. Because you're unable to hear what I say, you belong to your father, the devil. Now, that's a hard passage in our modern day for people to even want to read or understand, that our father before salvation is the devil. Our father after salvation is God. And we're operating to our children sometimes as though we are not understanding that we represent God to them, and maybe more often we're representing the enemy to them. It's a high calling if you want them to choose Jesus, that you represent something beautiful and holy and even give them a taste that he is good. And we can't do that if we're self-absorbed. We can't do that if we're so concerned with our own identity and our needs and our value and whether we get respect and whether we have a platform and whether we are building our kingdom and whether or not all of our needs met. And we are just trampling over our kids, trying to fulfill ourselves and completely defeating any desire that they might have to grow in grace and knowledge and understanding and surrender their life to Jesus. I would encourage you. There's a lot of great material that would help you understand the need as adults to keep our mind fixed on Jesus so that we can lead the little ones who are watching us. And by little ones, I do also mean 18-year-olds and 25-year-olds. There are people all around us that are hungry to know if Jesus is making any difference in our life. And they're not going to choose him if we don't get to the point so serious about Jesus that he is making a difference in our lives. And then make sure we're not neglecting their needs in their most formative years, because children are wet cement and we just don't want them to harden with a lot of the wrong things we showed them. Pray about it. Join me. Lord, I ask that you would teach us to embrace who you are in a way that changes us, and that we will turn around and look at the people who are following us and remember, if we can reach them while their hearts are tender, it would be a beautiful thing. Love you. Have a great worship day.